Hi, Christina Horton here. I met her with Ashley Horner's program. She's an amazing story, so I wanted to shout out to her and let her tell a little bit about herself, and I'm going to ask her a bunch of questions. So, Christina, tell me a little bit about yourself and your transformation story.
So I am 36 years old. I'm from Raleigh, North Carolina, and um, my whole fitness journey, I guess, started when I was about to get married. So about like 10, 11 years ago, um, or I should say when I first started dating my husband, he was getting into working out. So I was like, oh, I'll go work out with him. And I was smoking at the time, and I would get on the elliptical for like 10 minutes and just be like dying. So eventually, I remember getting like my tax returns and taking that little bit of money and joining the YMCA. And that was like my first step. But it was something like I just had to make myself do. Like I hated going to the gym. It was like I had to pep talk myself all the time. And so I'd go through phases where I was like doing it consistently, and then I wouldn't go for like a month. And I remember growing up, like my parents were swimmers. Swimming is something that's always like come fairly easy to me. And one of my clients, I'm a hairstylist, he was like, well, you should do a sprint triathlon. And I was like, what? And he's like, well, you can swim, and that's the hardest part, like that's what most people struggle with. So he's like, go online, find a free 8-week training program. That's exactly how long it is, and sign up for it. And so I went home that night and did that. And it was so good because I'm a goal oriented person. So it gave me like a focus. It was something like when I was at the gym, if I was running, like I was envisioning doing the triathlon. If I was swimming, I was envisioning that, and biking and so forth. So that kind of like jump started me like to the next level. So then I was like, all right, well, I'll start doing things, like having things that I'm trying to accomplish as I'm doing it. And then in 2015, I through Facebook discovered Ashley Horner. So I signed up for the Transform You Challenge and bought Becoming Extraordinary. And then right around that time, she just released Sweet Cake. So I bought that as well and did that. And that was a great challenge. For me, that one was more like the physical aspect. Like, I don't know that I dived too much into the mental part of it. And then that challenge ended in October. And then the 23rd of that month, my brother got killed in a car accident. And I just didn't know what, like, I don't know, just angry. And then I just didn't know what I wanted to do. So I was like, well, I'm going to do yoga teacher training, or I'm going to do this. And I got into CrossFit, and like I've literally done everything there is to do. And then the beginning of this year, I found my way back to being an athlete. So,
Yay!
yay. Go athletes.
Yeah. It's just amazing, like just, commenting on your posts and other girls that follow her. It's just, we've got our own little tribe going there, and I just love it. And I've also seen you do things where you're helping others, like you're doing that Murph challenge and donating to, what was that, mobility?
It's the Range in Motion Project.
Right.
So they help people who are in need of prosthetics or orthotics all over the world. They're in 3 different countries. So I think it's really cool to be able to use my mobility and movement and working out, something I love so much, to help others who want to get to that point and be able to do those things. So it's cool.
Yeah. Then you also do like lunches for people that can't afford it. Tell me a little bit about that.
Yeah, so that all kind of started in the last Transform You challenge, the New Year one. we had a pay it forward mini challenge. And I know like we got to choose whatever we wanted to do, but I remember being like, I really want to do something that like takes more effort on my part and like put a little bit more thought into it. And um I was thinking about, so I've had two older brothers that have struggled with addiction and being homeless. And I remember when they were going through that, just kind of being angry at them and not showing them a ton of love. But when you're in it, when it's part of your family and you've just been burned and hurt, it like, it's just hard. But part of the whole cycle, I think, with that is them not feeling loved and therefore feeling more pain and feeling hurt. So then turning to something else to
Mm.
help numb that as well. So, um, but I was also thinking back on like my little brother too. Like he was always the one, even though he was the youngest of us all, he was always the one that was real helpful to them, always like giving them a place to stay, helping them out with money, helping them go cash checks because they didn't have any IDs. And um, so it's kind of, that challenge. A lot of my why was to live an extraordinary life for my brother. And so I wanted to do something in honor of him. And so I called it Bags of Love. So I just made peanut butter and jellies and some water and apple and snacks. And then I put little notes in there that just said, "You are so loved."
Oh,
Um, and took them downtown Raleigh and just pass them around to people who are homeless or in need. And there's a lot of people that are, and I wish that I had shown my brothers a little bit more love, even though it's really hard. Everybody deserves it, and you don't ever know their full story.
right.
Um, so it felt so good, and I was so thankful for that challenge. So it was something I was like, well, maybe I can keep doing this. So I have done it the past 2 months, and I've gotten my clients involved, and they've helped to donate some food, and so that I'm able to do a little bit more for people.
That is
So
cool. You've kind of inspired me to maybe, when I have more time, I really want to do something like that. So I might join you in a different state
yeah, no, go.
in your brother's name. So that's so cool. So question would be, what's your greatest downfall and how did you get back up?
Oh gosh, I have a lot of downfalls, like so many. I think I can be very negative, especially like towards myself, like very, very hard on myself, um, and have like really high expectations. And I also project those on other people. Like, well, if I'm doing this and I can do it, so should you. And that was, really had to like work past that. Like everybody is human and everybody sees things through their own eyes and has their own stories and their own struggles. Um, and I don't know all of that. So who am I to say that they should do something? But also show myself some love and appreciate like how freaking hard my body works for me all the time to allow me to go kill it in the gym and then go stand for 8 hours, like I put it through a lot and it always shows up. So, um, yeah, negative self-talk and expecting a lot from myself, but I've tried to turn that into being like very positive and being like, dang, like you're really awesome. Like, so, and then I'm also super bad with sticking to things. Like I I don't know what it is. Like I cannot complete things. It's like as soon as I get like involved, I don't know if I get scared and I just want to run away, but like I just like pull back. So um especially with these past two challenges, I was like, I will finish them. I'm going to finish what I started, finish these programs. But it goes back to goals. Like, I was like, okay, give yourself goals, give yourself something to focus on and something to look forward to. So, yeah.
Wow. Well, yeah, you killed it. Because I just kind of met you while you were pushing yourself, and to me, you seem like a very consistent person. So you're on a roll.
It's
You're
easy to like, especially on social media to just, we see.
yeah,
And I've probably more recently been more open about like negative things. I think for a while I was trying to focus so much on positive things, but I've been more open recently about negative things that I struggle with. But I mean, we don't see what everybody's going through on a day-to-day basis, and the conversations we're having with ourselves in our head. So I mean, like I said, we're all human. We're all just trying really hard.
yeah. Well, I would encourage you to be more vulnerable like you are, because I feel like when I'm more vulnerable, cautiously vulnerable, I feel like I grow more mentally,
Yeah.
spiritually. So do more of that.
Yeah. It's helped. And there's so much encouragement from other people. So it's nice to know sometimes that you're not alone in those feelings.
Yeah, and then you'll have a lot of people reach out to you, and you'll grow strength from that as well. Together,
Yeah.
that's awesome.
Exactly.
So what goals do you have now, and how are you planning on staying on track with them?
um, so on my 36th birthday in February, I kind of made the goal to complete all the Ashley Horner programs that I have, because I own a lot of them, and just back to the same thing, like started them but never finished. And so a lot of that was because I was like chasing like physical appearance goals. So I'd be like, well, this isn't getting me to where I want to be fast enough. So this year I was like, you know what? Like, let's not focus on physical appearance. Let's focus on like what your body can do, and just take these programs that you have and put your all into each and every one of them. And fuel your body with good nutrition, and just like trust the process, that if you're doing the work and being honest with yourself about it, then it will all turn out. So I'm gonna finish. I've done 2 rounds of Magnify You, and then I'm gonna finish Valor. I'm halfway through that, and then I'm moving on to Pipe Hitter, and then Pinnacle. And I think that puts me um, towards the mid to end of January. So that also gives me a few weeks, like if I get sick or whatever.
Yeah.
But along with, and so when I started getting into like paying it forward and doing things others and doing summer of Murph, I was like, well, what I should do is with each of those programs, find some sort of cause to work for during that program. So not only am I working on the physical, but working on my spirit and soul as well. So I haven't decided exactly what I'm doing with Murph. I'm trying to like, again, stick with what I have planned right now and finish that through. And then when I move on to the next one, I don't know. I was thinking maybe do something for more like animals. So alternate between like helping humans and helping animals. So
I like how your dog just sat right next to you as you said
yeah. Yeah. And my buddy, my sweet boy Charlie. So
that's awesome. Well, I'm going to try to join you on that, because that's something I really want to work on myself, is also, the spiritual aspect of it, because it's so mental, keeping your body healthy. It's very mental. So
it
doing
is.
things for others is also just so helpful. So I think you are an amazing person. So thank you for chatting with me. But I wanted to ask you, do you have anything that you would like to say to someone that might be struggling with loss, or anything that you were struggling with when you first began, like smoking?
Um, as far as like struggling with loss, I think we get really caught up in like, it's hard. I mean, you get asked all the time, like, how are you doing today? And it's so easy to just be like, good, like, but when you're like really like hurting inside. So I always like to tell people, like, allow yourself to feel your feelings. Like, it's okay to be sad. It's okay to be angry, and not keep pushing them down because you're like you don't want to be the negative person in the room, or you don't want to make people feel uncomfortable, but like you have to get those out. And sometimes if you're just like, you know what, like I'm just having a bad day, or like I'm just really sad today, like it you can get a hug from it, or people can just give you some comforting words. So just, like allowing yourself, being honest with yourself on how you're feeling can really help move on and not keep pushing them down to where you're staying angry and not able to move on. I mean, I miss my brother every single day. Every day I think about him. And I haven't moved on. I think I've just gotten used to the pain, but I've been able to try to like now be like, okay, what can I do for him? Like, how can I take this life that I have, this little slice of time on this earth, and do the most that I can, since he couldn't, if that makes sense. So just, allow yourself to feel, get through it, but don't sit in it either. Like, acknowledge your feelings and then let them go, and then try to move on. And then you'll have more feelings, and it's going to be a roller coaster, but you just have to keep on getting up and getting out of it. So, and
Yeah.
then as far as people, that are just starting out maybe on their fitness journey or trying to work towards a healthier lifestyle, just, set goals, like attainable goals though. Give yourself to focus on something to look forward to. Um, and then just get up, take it like one day at a time, like go in, work hard that day, but I think if you have this vision in your mind, you can really do a lot. And the the mind is always going to tell you you can't. It's always going to try to talk you out of it, or tell you it's terrible, or how much it hurts while you're doing it. But like, the body is extraordinary. It's an amazing thing. And so kind of just try to quiet the mind a little bit, and like appreciate your body, and appreciate your body through every step of the way. Like, so a lot of people will look back at pictures and be like, man, like I wish I looked like that then, or they're just never like happy in the moment of like where they're at. It's always chasing a dream, chasing something that once you get to where you thought you wanted to be, you want more and more and more. But just once you start appreciating your body where it's at now, and being like, dang, thank you for doing this for me, and like getting me to do that workout, doing 100 burpees a day, like that's really cool. And it will start showing up for you a lot more. So I hope that answers your question.
Amazing. Beautiful answer. Completely. Thank you so much for spending this morning with me. And
Yeah.
I can't wait to do another Ashley Horner with you. And actually, I think we'll be doing Pinnacle together. Sounds like it. So I'm doing
Cool. So,
Pipe Hitter 2 next, and then somewhere along the line doing the Pinnacle. So
oh, cool. I heard Pipe Hitter 2 is awesome.
I'm excited. Starting
So,
today.
yeah, you get it, girl.